What's going on, fish speakers? Uh, this video's just to kind of have something else posted on my other channel so that it's not apparent to YouTube that I'm dead or that the channel's not going anywhere. So this is kind of just like a spit. So there's something on there. Spitting on it, calling it paint. Also, just uploaded a new video on my gaming channel, Treyu117, same spelling. I've mostly been focusing on the gaming channel because it takes more work, and I don't have a lot of time to invest into this whole thing. So anytime I have to use it wisely. So I do the gaming because the gaming also, I don't know, it's just right up my alley. It's right over there. So it's whatever. What? Anyway, other than that, life's been all right. Life's been okay. Can't complain. Still paying for stuff. Stuff's still getting expensive. Still is expensive. A lot's changed for like reference just in the time that I uploaded the first video on this channel. Well, yeah. And now a lot's changed. I'm sure everybody knows what the hell I'm talking about. And I feel like going out of my way to add my 2 cents to the topic isn't going to change anything, isn't going to add something that I think people need to hear or something, or at least anything I could have said about it. Unfortunately, that's not how you change people. War has been happening on this planet a very long time. And guess how much has changed due to that? Not a whole lot, honestly. And people will be like, but if we didn't do this and that, if this and that war never happened, then we would never have the great. Yeah, and without invasion, there wouldn't be an America, right? So, an invasion to me is like war, even if one side is at a disvalue. Or at least you gotta get that nose pick. You have to stay real. Anyway, I try to remove my cursing. Not so much to make it for children, but just so that it's palatable to a larger audience. I have a limited amount of time to make this, so I'm just kind of shooting shit in there. And in reference to my beautiful child, and there is ventilation. That's all I'm going to add to that because I don't give a shit. But speaking of war, all of the things are intermingled. And definitely violence is brought into it and is seen as an end all, the final means of getting your point across and making sure that you don't have to do this again. A lot of the times, it's not a life or death situation. It's not. Like this war going on right now. And it's progressing into the Third World War. And I promise you, on this date, the 26th of September, 2025, World War III is already in play. Okay? I don't care what kind of opinion that is, because that is fact. War videos, right? How many of those people think that what they're doing really? Oh, I can't do anything better. There's nothing better I could do. And I am aware that they're protecting their country, right? The Ukrainians. Or if it were us, we would be protecting our country, right? That the war has never changed anything, never solved anything, never really done anything. But here we are again. Out of all the war videos I've seen, I can promise you that those people, if they were living, I have a fridge full of food, somebody's paying the bills, my kid's happy, like I can't complain. I don't want to have to complain. I'm going to keep referring to it as a war because that's what it is. But this war is not only getting out of hand, but I promise you it will reach us. It will affect us personally. And that's all if Russia doesn't just completely back down. Which, come on, they're Russia. Their ego is as big as their country's fucking land, right? Or unless Putin steps down as president and Russia as a whole reforms their government, which again, I don't think that's going to happen. Russia's narrative was the same even before Putin was in office, but it became a little headstrong, steady. Anyway, another important note to add is that while we are people of the country's citizens, and we might like to think that all this rioting or protesting is really changing a lot. Guys, it's not changing any fucking thing. I promise you. We're not playing with companies. We're playing with countries. You can't protest a revolt, and you sure as hell. Okay, people want to always say that there's no still such thing as a violent revolution or a peaceful revolution. History would agree with that, would concur. Yeah, there's always been, every revolution has in some way or another had violence. You want to know why? Because every country has damn near pushed back, right? The country is not pushing back like that right now. There's no need for violence. And this isn't just addressing the Charlie Kirk situation. This is addressing the situation, all of the situations, as a matter of fact. Every situation, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Germany, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, there is absolutely one thing we can get fucking sure of, and it's that we might not like the situation our country's in at the moment. You are in a country where you can have that opinion, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. I, for one, think that America's government kind of needs to be restructured as a whole. We can keep all the good shit that we like, and that's super vague to say, but there's some shit that works. We can work off that backbone. Unfortunately, that's not all going to be done by me, nor is it going to be done roughly, I think. There's a certain comfortability in life here in the West. That comfort can be had in Eastern countries, not at the same level of freedom, the level of access. Anybody can become somebody. That was something that was very popular in the Roman culture. A slave could work himself up to be a politician, however the fuck that worked, or at least that's what they said. That being said, America's not the greatest country, but comparatively, where else would you rather be? You know, other people would be like, oh well, let's just move out of the U.S. You can do that. You don't have to have that freedom, that comfort isn't something just granted to you by the U.S. But it is something that is easily accessed here. The government doesn't give that to you; you give that to you. It is not a freedom or a right, or it's not again, it's not something that's bestowed to you. It's something that is inherent. Almost anybody can do that, right? Or at least I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to become somebody so that I can have money that's on my name. I'm no longer working for other people. That's my goal with this whole channel. Well, everything I'm doing on mine. And I'm not trying to become somebody big or just somebody that can make money. Uh, I've seen other small channels that do nothing but play video games, and they make enough viewers and shit that I estimate that they make enough money. Just trying to do that, just trying to have this pay the bills, and then once that comes in, then step two, which is to foundate myself. So, put a foundation of something that I can build because I'm going to do something better for them. I have another child on the way, so practically two kids already. I don't like labels, and I definitely, as hell, wouldn't say that I'm associated with any party in the United States. I don't hold any views that are politically normal, that are even colloquially normal. Society, Western society, definitely not something normal. Even in Eastern society, my ideals. So don't think that when I say things like this, that it's just for the people who are like, oh well, grab a wife, have children, live this life. No, don't do that. Do you. Do whatever it is you means. And if family comes into that picture, then it was meant to be because you did it your way. If you follow the fucking a pattern that everybody follows, you can't sit there and be surprised about where you are. You can't sit there and say, ah, look at all this shit that I've originally earned that is mine, my idea. It's all me, because it's not. It's not. Even when you see a product on the television and then you go out and buy it, it's not yours. You didn't make that. You didn't fucking pour your heart and soul into that. It's not yours. You just bought it. You know what I mean? Like, capitalism is great. Part of the reason why we're here and why those freedoms I was just talking about are so accessible. Well, yay! That we can decide on something and get along within that premise. Capitalism, right? Whatever. As long as we can play. The best answer will come later. But I promise you right now that all the shit that's going on overseas and that where it's going right now, not every situation needs some side to be picked, right? That's how a lot of American topic and culture wants to take things. They want to be like, you're either here or you're there. You're either here or you could be here or here, but you have to be somewhere. You can't be in between, right? You can't be anywhere. You can't be any of those things if those freedoms are 100% taken from you. And again, these are not things that can be bestowed to you. It is just things that we colloquially understand, and that's why I'm calling them rights and freedoms, because you understand it that way. That shit will go away. It will disappear, okay? And I'm not saying that Russia will just invade us, right? World War III is going to look different. It's going to look weird. Right? I have no idea. And I'm not sitting here saying that 100% war is going to happen tomorrow or in 4 days. While not every topic involves picking a side, there are some that it's once you back yourself into that corner, you're kind of like, there's nowhere else for you to go. Not only is that the position that Putin is in, I don't like it. But just because you agree or you say that Charlie Kirk's death was a great thing, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be fucking canceled for that shit. I think those are absolute monstrous, nasty, dumb fucking people who think that they know something and are. I am in a small niche of American people that know something that the rest of America does not. You're not that, right? You're not, and you're not cool for thinking like I think things, edgy things that the rest of America doesn't think. Like, no, you're not that either. We need to really start making changes, putting our foot down. No, you're not doing that either. You're getting your emotions tangled up into it, and that's the fucking identifier every time you see one of these videos of people sympathizing with the death of Charlie Kirk, or congratulating people like that. Back themselves up into a corner. That's not the shit that should be fucking heart. This is a conflict. This is a hot button topic. This is a problem that you kind of need to kind of have a side for. You can't just sit there neutral. You might be like, well, then what are all these people protesting and standing up and standing out and having their voices blasted into a megaphone? Okay, sometimes talking loudly, making a ruckus, isn't raising your voice for shit. Sometimes a tantrum is just that. One person with the right words can do so much more than a crowd full of raging ass fucking blaring obscenities. And the second that they are in a debate, they just shut down and start going like, no, you can't do that. That's not real. That's not what people do. You're not going to change anything, and you're not a part of a change when you do things like that. Okay? And I'm not saying you being a soldier is going to change things either. A good soldier would be somebody like a philosopher and a warrior tangled in one. Guess what the fucking philosopher warrior's going to do? He's not going to charge into battle first, but he's damn sure isn't going to let a war happen to his friends and family without doing something about it. And again, you don't have to become a soldier to do that, but you sure as hell can say the right things, make the right kind of points, and can at least get the fuck out of the way, right? Can at least acknowledge and help other people without letting their ideas and their perspectives over hot button topics blind them from making the right decisions in the right moments. When those moments arise from the conflicts that are happening, if they ever make themselves present at our doorstep. So don't think that this conflict is over the fucking seas. You guys might just be forgetting that the world is round. Over by Alaska, it's only a few miles to Russia, okay? A few miles. A fucking advanced swimmer can swim that distance. While we all might disagree on certain things, and some of us might be like, well, just like you said a minute ago, sometimes when you get to certain ideologies and representations of how you put yourself out there in the world, your personas, sometimes how you represent those backs you up into a corner and you literally have nothing else to represent yourself. So you come off as just this. I understand. That can be seen a lot. And a lot of these, the mass majority of you call left wingers, right? The ones that might just like me or have colorful hair or whatever the fuck. You don't know their whole life. Anything you do know about them, you don't like and you might hate. And that goes the same for the left wingers. We might hate somebody and they might literally be a Brian. You can't be a philosophical warrior and sit by and let somebody like Brian Thompson just like kind of continue doing what he's doing, even though he was continuing doing it and there's a whole bunch of other people that are doing it, and killing him didn't really make too much of a fucking difference. But what I mean is that there are moments where stuff can be done the right way. Okay, so you know, but with what I just said being said, I have strong conservative values that are as I sort of kind of make prevalent in this video. Okay, and when I say help each other out in the time of need, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm sure you all understand that. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter which side you're on, the left or the right. We don't know anybody else's entire fucking life. Like, we don't know who they are and how they've been. We're not the cousin. We're not their best friend that they've been with their entire life. Okay, so we don't really know people. So, but again, somebody like Grant Thompson, what did they do their entire life? What was their whole fucking purpose of being? How did they make money? How did they go about doing them? Something evil, right? Okay, so that's different. But and that's different because a lot of people that like fucking Charlie Kirk wasn't out here killing billions by the thousands. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that at all. But there are people, there are organizations, there are groups that have killed people that and do it as a means of progress, as a means of getting shit done, right? There are people that do that. There are groups, organizations. The signs of their encroachment are evident. The signs of their agitation, their growth, their development is evident. I'm talking about fucking like groups, organizations, not like countries. I'm talking about countries. I'm talking about organizations because a country will like to operate through an organization, so it doesn't matter. But there are people out there that don't care. They will not hesitate to make sure that if we choose to stand in their way, fodder. You don't want to make the only people that will stand against something like that be left out, be left alone, man. That's fucked. Then you're gonna say what? You're gonna blame who? Till that shit blows over, and you're like, well, here I am with my super interesting perspective on life in a fucking gulag. I can't do anything because of the views I hold. My ego's so big that I wasn't able to throw that out. I wasn't able to say, oh well, I guess I should help my fellow brother, against this fucking massive threat. That being said, I don't think anything should change in the way of, like, if we stuck together in that moment and made it through, we persevered, yay, the world's a better place. Well, we won the war, basically. I don't think that after that everything's going to be peachy keen, but I do think that we could just come together on being okay with not leaving each other left for dead. Then that would make the rhetoric, the discussions that these groups and subcultures have a little more healthy. Like, okay, we can talk as long as you're not trying to fucking kill me. So I kind of I kind of just carried on, but that was the main thing I really kind of wanted to say in this random spitball video, was that things are getting hectic, man. It's kind of the wind is blowing out there. There's a storm, but I see my neighbors out there. I don't agree with some. It's like, dude, I have a family to worry about. There's Ben Shapiro and his family out there in the wind because they're fucking dumb. I don't know. They're wandering out there in the storm, right? What do? Do I open the door? Do I help them? Do I let them in there? He's fucking Ben Shapiro, right? You really such an edgy, cool person with political views that you're just gonna leave them out there because the world's better off without him? Really? How do you know that if you don't really kind of just help him, that he won't be turned off by accepting some of your perspectives? Like, maybe he'll really listen this time. Because even though we might say having debates is healthy, sometimes having debate is just content for drama, brother. That's all it is. Because two people can debate and not say shit. I've seen that happen. The debate bros on TikTok, bro. This is like not even worth watching. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? What are we talking about? It's not that our conversation isn't changing anything. It's that in our conversation betwixt ourselves, we're not saying anything. It's just like watching two fucking dogs bark at each other. I don't think all Russians are bad people. I don't think all Israeli citizens are bad people. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of shit going on in the world. I don't think all Iranians are bad. If we don't calm the fuck down, it's gonna get to a point to where we're all throwing fists. Not all of us have the strength nor the ability in our minds to say in that moment, hey, like, kind of just step away from the fist throwing and say, is this really worth it? Apparently to Russia, and this is where I'll be a little bit direct, it is. It is that fucking serious. I believe that's all I might have to add for this video. It's already too long. I definitely know I can't import it over to my computer. Because it's too big. I don't have a data transferring cable. So I might have to edit it on the phone. And if I can't edit it on the phone, it's going to be straight raw. 30 minutes of raw, unedited fucking nasty. You guys have a good one. I'm glad I made this video. Add something else to the channel, even if it's not on a script. This actually was an attempt to put my little red pill goth out there, my little bit of red pill goth. That wasn't the point of the video, but I didn't realize that I kind of did that. But I do want to watch that. Maybe the next one will have essences of that, because that is something that I'm okay with pushing. Absolutely. That his perspectives on male or masculinity, just like being a cis white man today, honestly, might be a little radical, but not really at all radical. It just kind of makes sense, but radical to kind of radicals. Anyway, I guess that was kind of my little attempt at being, or my red pill goth moment. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope if you enjoyed it, to spread the love and the kindness and the knowledge any fucking way. This has been Atreyu117. Have a good one.